Let's talk about how to name your YouTube ad campaigns correctly. And yes, you can use the same exact naming structure for your Facebook and TikTok ads as well. Before we begin, you might be wondering, Neil, why do I even need to name my YouTube ad campaigns? Why can't I just label them as campaign 1, 2, and so forth? Well, that's because once you start spending a lot of money on ads, or you have a ton of campaigns in your ad account, this is going to save you so much time and money in the long run. You see, when you have a ton of campaigns inside of an ad account, you want to just be able to get in there, take a look at your campaigns, see what's performing, and make decisions quickly without having to figure out what each campaign means. So with that said, this is exactly the campaign naming structure that we use internally at our agency that you can start copying right away. Don't worry, it might look a little daunting at the beginning, but I'll break down what each term means. So it's a pretty long name, and it starts with test, LD, then the date, then a early bird funnel, cold, MC, IM, investment services, OT, mail only, top 20%, US, DT plus M, Elon Musk, add to. A lot to take in, I know. So let's break it down. So let's start off with LD. This is the first identifier that we use to indicate that these campaigns belong to us. So LD represents Links Digital. If you are somebody that's working on a lot of accounts, or you're sharing ad accounts with other media buyers or other people, you could use the first identifier to label your own campaigns. So you could say something like LD like we do, or like Neil, as I often do. Next up, we have date, and this is the date at which we first launched the campaign. Now, if we do end up turning a campaign off and then restarting it, we will also have a restart date, but this is a great way to see a campaign's performance over its entire life cycle. So we like to put this in here. The next identifier is going to be what sort of funnel or landing page we're working with. You might have a big brand, you might be sending traffic to a lot of different landing pages or a lot of different funnels. To keep track of that, we like to include it in the campaign name itself. Next up, a very easy thing for you to do is indicate if the campaign is going out to a cold audience, a warm audience, or if it's a mix of a retargeting campaign. So for cold audiences, we like to put in cold. For remarketing, we'll do something like RT. All right, you'll notice that we don't have a campaign objective, and that's because for most accounts, we're usually only running with one or two different objectives. Either we're going for sales or we're going for leads. And if it is an account that there's a little bit of an overlap, we will indicate that inside the campaign. However, for this one, we didn't. We will then work our way to the campaign bidding type. Obviously, this one is MC, which means it is maximized conversion. For target CPA campaigns, we'll just put in TCPA. And that's a very easy way for us to compare two different campaign bidding types. So you might have two identical campaigns with the identical targeting, identical landing pages, and maybe you're just trying to figure out, does target CPA work a little bit better than max conversions? Instead of having to jump inside your campaigns, you can just take a look on the campaign level and compare your two campaigns right then and there. Hey, really quickly, if you are somebody that's looking to get into YouTube ads, whether you want to do it yourself or you want it completely done for you, what I recommend is that you go down to the description of this video and click on the top link. What that will allow you to do is book a free strategy session with somebody on our team where we will sit down with you completely for free and see if YouTube ads make sense for your business. And with that, let's jump back into the video. Next, we move on to some of the audience parameters. These are going to be your targeting parameters. Now, you could put a lot of these things inside the ad group level. However, because we usually follow the 1-1-1 campaign structure, so one campaign, one ad group, one ad, we like to put all of these parameters in the campaign name. That way you don't have to jump into the ad group level, the ad set level. It saves a lot of time. So first off, we have the IM in market audiences. If you're doing keywords, that would be there. If you're doing custom intent audiences, you just put CI. So we obviously have the IM here in market audiences, and then we further specify what sort of in-market audience it is by investment services. Now, on some campaigns, we will also do optimized targeting. So that's what the OT does, or target expansion, so TE. So we have a lot of these little indicators as well that you should also consider putting in. Again, the goal with all of these little parameters and things that we're putting into the campaign is that we are trying to isolate all of the different variables that you can change on either on the campaign level or the ad group level. So that's why we want to make sure all of those variables are labeled. That way we can compare apples to apples. Next up, we are going into some of the demographic stuff. So obviously this campaign is male only. Now, if you're not doing any sort of demographic targeting, you can completely remove this. However, we are in this case. Next up, we have top 20% because we're targeting the top 20% of income earners. Sometimes we'll do top 20 income, but you know, with the different targeting parameters, the demographic ones, we know with experience, this is the only thing that this could mean. Next up is location. So this one is in the US only. Sometimes we'll do US, Canada, or like if we're doing Latin America or we're doing Australia, Asia, something like that, just to indicate what is the geography targeting here. Next up is device targeting, which is DT plus N. So most often by default, we are targeting desktop and mobile. We usually exclude things like tablets and TV screens. So in our agency, the SOP is just like, if there's no device targeting, it's probably both desktop and mobile. However, we will often split test a campaign or an ad's performance on devices. So we might run it on desktop only or mobile only. So it's nice to indicate here. And then finally, we have the ad creative name. Like I said, we follow that 1-1-1 campaign structure. So this campaign will only have one specific ad creative, which is going to be, let's say, the Elon Musk ad number 2. So we indicate what sort of creative it is. Now, we could have a bunch of campaigns where it could be the exact same targeting parameters. It could be the exact same campaign setup, but we're just changing Elon Musk ad 2, Elon Musk ad 3, Elon Musk ad 4, and that's the only variable that's changing in our campaign. So again, very easy, very efficient to have this on the campaign level, as opposed to you having to jump into the ad set level and the ad creative level. And then finally, we have recently started implementing this test parameter at the beginning. This is when we are doing creative testing. If we have some evergreen campaigns that have been running for a couple of years, things can get messy. So in order to make our life a little bit more efficient, we will label ongoing tests. So if we're doing a lot of creative tests with this test parameter, that way, if either me or one of the media buyers goes in and we're just trying to take a look at how the new creatives are performance, we can just filter our campaigns by this testing, and then we'll have results right away. And that's pretty much it, guys. That is how we set up our campaigns. This is our campaign naming structure. If you like this video, please subscribe. Over 75% of you aren't subscribed to the channel, so I would greatly appreciate it if you did, and I'll see you guys in the next one.